What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Um, yeah. Before we get into the content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share. This is going to be our preview of the Milwaukee Bucks and Chicago Bulls Round 1 preview. Enjoy highlights in the background as we talk for hopefully the next 11 minutes. But let's get into it. Okay, so we now know that it's going to be the Bucks and the Bulls first round Sunday, which I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series.
So, I mean, this hopefully should be a really easy series for Milwaukee. Hopefully.
hmm
Because we did beat them 4-0 in the regular season, which in the playoffs kind of means absolutely nothing, but I mean, it's something to kind of bounce off of because, well, you know. But also, for the Bulls to be able to beat the Bucks, I think for their key points, they need to find a way to contain Giannis, but also at the same time try to contain Middleton and Drew. Because let's say you try to build a wall, but then he's got up passing lanes to either Drew or Middleton, and then or even Bobby Portis, who's been going off. Yeah, we got a lot of depth too. Like the Bucks have a lot of depth. You got Holiday and Drew, or Drew Holiday. Jesus Christ.
Holiday Drew.
You got Drew Holiday, Javon Carter, and George Hill as your point guard rotations. Wesley Matthews, Pat Connaughton, and Grayson Allen at shooting guard. You got Middleton, obviously, Giannis and Portis and Ibaka and Lopez as bigs. Like, it's going to be interesting how we use a lot of this depth. Like, it's also going to, for the Bucks, I mean, it's interesting to see what rotations we're going to put out there for these first round playoffs. But I think we talked a little off camera about this. I think it's all going to be on matchups. So it's going to be interesting to see if we use Serge Ibaka at all, because he kind of just got no minutes at all in the end of the year, or in the end of the regular season. Which I think he's valuable enough to at least play some minutes in every playoff series. I'm not saying start him over Brook Lopez. No, I don't think he's a starting caliber player anymore. But he does provide some toughness. He does kind of provide defense and spacing, which are very, very valuable. I don't know. What do you think the Bulls need to do for to somehow stay competitive in this series? What do you think they'll do?
Well, obviously they're gonna have to do something to slow down Giannis. I'm thinking that's probably gonna be Patrick Williams' assignment. I also read something that they might try Tristan Thompson and Nikola Vucevic out there at the same time, which I guess would add more size, but they'll probably pick and roll to death.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball is out for the rest of the year too. So they do have some guards like Matt Thomas, this Ao Desumnu or whatever, who's actually been a pretty decent backup guard for the Bulls. Got
Yeah, I
Cody.
actually like
Sorry, got Cody.
that Desumu, he was at Illinois last year, He's one of those guys. I actually liked him. Pretty solid player.
Yeah, they got Kobe White and Alex Caruso. Obviously Zach LaVine too. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what defensive rotations they're gonna put at Giannis. Obviously, when Giannis is out of the game, they're gonna go to their normal team probably or their normal lineup. But I don't think Giannis is gonna be out long. I think in the playoffs, I think he gets 40 minutes a game, if not more. Well, I mean, okay. To be honest, maybe in the first two rounds it's like 35 to 38 minutes, but then I think in the conference finals, if we do make it there, of course, I'm not saying we will. I hope we do. But let's say we make it farther and farther, then I think he plays more and more and more. That's what I'm gonna say about that. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I mean, hey, last year we were the 3 seed and we won the title. This year we're a 3 seed. You never know. Anything can happen. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I think for the Bucks, it's obviously gonna be Drew Holiday, maybe Wesley Matthews, obviously Middleton and Giannis and Lopez as the starting lineup. But Wesley Matthews, I mean, for the shooting guard position, it's kind of weak offensively. Matthews is kind of, he's inconsistent. Like one game he'll go off and make like 3 or 4 threes, and then another he'll go like 0 for 4 or 0 for 5. It's annoying.
Yeah, up and down too much on the offensive side. Which hopefully you don't hear this time around in the playoffs on that end.
Yeah, but for the defense, I think would be really good for a good matchup with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. I think his defense is going to be impactful. I guess, who would you rather have start at shooting guard? Would it be Grayson Allen or Wesley Matthews?
That's tough. Maybe for this series, I'd maybe choose Matthews for his defensive ability and knock down some threes or whatever occasionally, you know. But I think this is a series here. I need Matthews more starting, I think, for DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine in that.
Yeah, I agree. But I also would like to see a lot more Javon Carter in this series as well. He's a really good defensive guard. He's also he's like a knockdown shooter at this point too off the bench. He's shooting 55% from 3 on 2.5 or 2.2 threes a game. He's been a knockdown shooter, and to think he went from shooting 33% from the field in Brooklyn to 50% from the field in Milwaukee. He's been taking a lot better shot selections, and I think he's ready to play. I think he also brings a little toughness on the defensive end too.
Yeah, he's a dog on defense. I actually didn't mind this pickup, even I didn't think he'd be doing this good when he has played. I actually liked him a lot out of college too.
Yeah, and then obviously, 2 guys that were signed at the end of the year, but probably will only play if we're up by like 30, would be Rajon Tucker, who we just signed from our G League affiliate to like a multi-year deal, and then we also signed this Luca Vildoza guy, who I know nothing about, but I guess yeah. But we'll see what happens with the rotations. I don't think those 2 guys will play. I'm just mentioning them because we did sign them for the whole season, probably just to fill a bench. But Rajon Tucker, I think, has some decent potential, maybe.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
he's a high flyer and he's worked on his game a lot. Maybe he can be a decent piece in the future. They obviously see potential. They sign him to a multi-year deal.
yeah, maybe next year he gets some playing time because Nora is a restricted free agent this summer, and I honestly thought he'd be more involved this year, but eh, just
Nora's IQ is just very poor.
yeah, it is. He
That's the problem with him. Shooting wise, I know he can be a really good player. He just has I don't know what to say. I guess he just needs to be better, smarter, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, but whatever. That's another discussion for later.
yeah, yeah. For the Bulls, I mean, Vucevic and Thompson. I don't know if they really are your best, or I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how they defend Giannis and Middleton and Drew, though. But they'll find a way. I think adjustments from the coaches are really gonna play a factor in this series too, and throughout the playoffs. We'll see how Bud handles it. Um,
Last year he did a way better job than years past, so hopefully that continues.
yeah, but we'll see. Once the play-in tournament's all over, we'll see. We'll have a video of more of who we're gonna pick to win the whole thing. But I think that's gonna be it. Unless you have anything else.
Well, I mean, I guess who do you think's going to be the biggest key to this series for both sides? I guess what player?
I think for the Bulls, it's got to be um, Patrick Williams. I know that might be a little shocking, but if he's going to be the number one guy on Giannis, I think he needs to show why he deserves to be on Giannis. And also, Zach LaVine needs to show that, you know, why he's a superstar player that needs to be the number one option.
Yeah, my pick was going to be Zach LaVine. I mean, I guess you could also say DeMar DeRozan a little bit, but I think DeRozan this year has kind of been the number one guy, and LaVine's is the number two. I feel like how they've played so far. So Zach LaVine to me is going to need to have to be the number two guy for the Bulls and actually perform, especially if DeRozan struggles like he has in years past in the playoffs.
And for the Bucks, I think it's gonna be Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Because in the fourth quarter, it's in fourth quarter they've taken turns being the closer. And we'll see who steps up as the closer this year in the fourth quarter. I know
Yeah,
Drew has been really clutch so far in the regular season, but we'll see if he keeps up in the postseason. Hopefully, there's some games
I
where he took over in the fourth quarter, and I loved it. I loved seeing it.
well, he did that last year for us in the playoffs at times, so I have faith he can do that. But yeah, my pick for the Bucks would be Chris Middleton. He's the number two option. Well, supposed to be anyway. You could argue Drew Holiday, I suppose, as well, but it's supposed to be Middleton. So yeah, Middleton. If he does this thing, the Bucks are sitting good.
Yeah, I agree. And for the Bulls, they just gotta find a way to somehow contain Giannis. You can't stop him, but you gotta try to slow him down. But
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm curious on that and how they try to guard them.
same here. It's gonna be fun. Um, But I think that will do it. So make sure to leave your opinions in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new. Share with your friends. And we'll see you next time. Peace.